The Young and the Restless spoilers. Welcome back to our channel, fellow Y&R addicts. Today is just another beautiful day, but my mind is completely blown after last night's episode. We need to talk about the absolute insanity that just went down in Genoa City. Grab a drink, because we are diving deep into the madness. I cannot believe they actually went there. I am literally sitting here staring at my screen, typing furiously because my jaw is still firmly on the floor. I mean, we all knew Diane Jenkins was a ticking time bomb, right? We all knew that this whole reformed, good wife, upstanding citizen act was eventually going to crack under pressure. But this is not just a crack, people. This is a full-blown, catastrophic, point-of-no-return explosion. I am still shaking from that final scene. Did we really just witness Diane Jenkins commit cold-blooded murder in the Abbott mansion? Yes, we did. And I am simultaneously horrified and absolutely living for it because this is the kind of premium, unhinged soap opera drama I have been craving for years. Let's just back up for a second because my brain is going a million miles an hour and I need to process this. I've been watching this show for years, and I have seen Diane pull some incredibly wild stunts. I mean, remember when she faked her own death? Remember all the manipulation, the lies, the sheer audacity of this woman throughout her history in Genoa City. But this is different. This is so much darker and so much more permanent. Because for the longest time, the writers have been trying to shove this redeemed Diane down our throats. They wanted us to believe she just wanted to fit in, to be accepted by Jack, to be a good mother to Kyle, and to play the role of the perfect Abbott matriarch. And honestly, it was getting kind of boring. But now, the writers just ripped the steering wheel off and drove us straight off a cliff into crazy town. Okay, back to the point. We have to talk about how we got here because Jack Abbott is honestly entirely to blame for this mess. I'm sorry, but he is. Can we talk about how incredibly stupid Jack has been lately? First, he gets caught on a boat in bed with Patty Williams' Patty, of all people. The woman is completely unhinged. She has a history of severe violence. And Jack just what? Falls into bed with her. And Diane had to see that. She had to witness her husband, the man she literally changed her whole life for, rolling around with Patty. And if that wasn't bad enough, Diane then catches Jack in a compromising situation with Nikki Newman, Nikki, Diane's ultimate mortal enemy. So you have to understand the absolute state of Diane's mental health right now. She is being pushed and humiliated from every single side. And then into this volatile pressure cooker walks Patty Williams. Patty, who just never, ever knows when to quit. I mean, what was she thinking? Going straight into the Abbott mansion, into Diane's own territory, to gloat. It's like walking into a lion's den wearing a suit made of raw meat. I was screaming at my TV, Patty, girl, turn around and walk out that door right now. But no, she just had to push it. She had to stand there in that lavish Abbott living room and taunt Diane. She started running her mouth about the boat, about how Jack wanted her, about how Diane is losing her grip on her husband and her entire perfect life. Patty was practically begging for a confrontation. And you could just see it. You could literally see the exact second something inside Diane snapped. It was brilliant acting, honestly. The way her eyes just went completely dead. The way her posture changed. She wasn't the frantic, desperate, crying wife anymore. She was a predator. Patty is standing there laughing, probably thinking she holds all the cards because she slept with Jack and knows how to push Diane's buttons. But Patty completely underestimated who she was dealing with. Diane isn't some fragile flower who's just gonna cry into her pillow and file for divorce. Diane is a survivor. And when a survivor is backed into a corner and stripped of her dignity, they strike. I can't get over the weapon, a heavy object just sitting there, probably some priceless Abbott family heirloom, and Diane just grabs it. She didn't even hesitate. There was no big dramatic monologue, no screaming match where they pull each other's hair and slap each other like the old days. No, this was visceral. This was raw and terrifying. She just swung it, and bam, the thud. Oh my God, the sound of that thud is going to haunt my nightmares for weeks. Patty just crumpled to the floor like a ragdoll, and the silence that followed. It was deafening. It was the most intense, chilling silence I have ever experienced watching this show. But here is the part that truly terrifies me and makes me realize we are in a completely new era of Y&R. Any normal person, any soap character who accidentally kills someone in a fit of rage, what do? They panic. They drop the weapon, they scream, they cry, they call 911, or they frantically call their husband for help. But Diane just stood there. She looked down at Patty's lifeless body, and she didn't shed a single tear. She didn't gasp. She was completely, utterly calm. It was the most chilling thing I've ever seen her do. And then she starts wiping away her fingerprints. Just casually taking a cloth and wiping down the heavy object, wiping down the surfaces. Like she's just doing some light afternoon dusting in the Abbott living room while a dead body bleeds out on the Persian rug. I was sitting there with my hands over my mouth in pure shock. This is the exact moment the reformed Diane Jenkins truly died, and a new, terrifying monster was born. She realized in that exact moment that Patty's death wasn't a tragedy. It was a liberation. It was the universe handing her a get-out-of-jail-free card from Patty's blackmail and endless taunting. I know some people are loving this, but personally, I am terrified of what this means for the rest of the canvas. Think about it. If Diane is willing to bash Patty's head in and calmly cover it up without a second thought, who is safe? Nobody is safe. This is the start of a Diane who is completely off the leash and out of control. She is no longer trying to fit in with the high society of Genoa City. She has realized that playing nice gets you cheated on with Patty and Nikki. Playing nice gets you mocked in your own home. So she's done playing nice. She is ready to step over anyone's dead body literally to keep her position and her power. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about Patty for a second. Am I the only one who feels a tiny, microscopic bit bad for her? I mean, yes, she's an absolute menace. Remember when she poisoned Summer Newman years ago? I certainly haven't forgotten. And I know Phyllis hasn't forgotten either, especially since they just had that nasty run-in. Patty has caused so much pain and destruction in this town over the years. In a way, this is pure karma catching up to her. You can't just go around destroying lives, poisoning kids, sleeping with married men, and taunting their wives without eventually crossing the wrong person. But at the same time, Patty was deeply mentally ill. She needed professional help, not a blunt force trauma to the head in the Abbott living room, so I'm kinda torn. Half of me is like, good riddance, the wicked witch is finally dead, and the other half is like, wow, what a brutal and tragic end to a really tragic character. But honestly, my sympathy for Patty is completely overshadowed by my share of Diane's villain origin story. I mean, we are witnessing soap opera history here, folks. Now, let's talk about Jack. Jack, you absolute, unbelievable fool. He is already panicking about Diane divorcing him because she caught him with Nikki. He is running around town trying to do damage control, completely oblivious to the fact that his wife just turned their living room into an active murder scene. How is he going to react when he finds out? Because he will find out. Secrets like this never stay buried in Genoa City. Will Diane frame someone else? Will she frame Jack? Oh my God, could you imagine if she frames Jack for Patty's murder as revenge for him sleeping with her on that boat? That would be incredible. And what about Victor Newman? We know Victor has been actively trying to sabotage Jack by using Diane. Victor loves pulling Diane's strings and watching the Abbott family crumble. But Victor has no idea that his little puppet just cut her own strings and picked up a murder weapon. If Victor finds out about this, he will either use it to blackmail Diane for the rest of her natural life, or he will actually respect her for finally showing some ruthless, cold-blooded backbone. Honestly, Victor might just slow clap when he hears the news, because this is exactly the kind of ruthless survival instinct Victor respects more than anything. I am already dreading the police investigation, though. You just no chance or whoever is going to come sniffing around the mansion, asking the most basic questions, and Diane is going to lie right to their faces with that perfect, icy smile. She's going to play the grieving, shocked wife. Oh my heavens, Patty is dead, in my house, how dreadful. Who could have done such a thing? And we, the audience, are going to be screaming at the screen because we know she wiped those prints. I just hope they don't drag the investigation out for 6 months. We need fast-paced paranoia and high stakes. And we absolutely have to talk about how Phyllis is going to react to this news. I mean, Phyllis and Patty just had that massive, nasty confrontation where Phyllis refused to let Patty forget about poisoning Summer. Phyllis hates Patty with a burning passion. So when the news breaks that Patty has been murdered, Phyllis is going to be doing cartwheels in her office. But wait, what if the police suspect Phyllis? Oh my God, Phyllis has the motive. She just had a public argument with Patty, and Victor is already trying to frame Phyllis for the AI emails. If Victor finds out Diane killed Patty, he could easily manipulate the evidence to frame Phyllis for the murder instead. That would solve all of Victor's problems and keep Diane in his pocket. My mind is literally spinning with the endless possibilities. I know the Y and our fandom is going to be completely divided over this storyline. The Diane haters are going to use this as ultimate proof that she is irredeemable garbage who never should have been brought back from the dead in the first place. They'll be screaming for her to go to prison forever, and the Diane apologists. They're gonna be doing absolute mental gymnastics trying to justify this as self-defense. Patty was threatening her. Patty was crazy. Diane had no choice. Look, I don't care about the morality of it. I care about the entertainment, and this is peak, top-tier entertainment. Think about the ripple effects this is going to have. Carl is going to be utterly devastated when he eventually learns his mother is a cold-blooded murderer. Summer is probably going to throw a party because Patty, the woman who poisoned her, is dead, but she'd be horrified that her mother-in-law is the one who did it. The family dynamics are going to be shattered into a million pieces, and I'm here for every single second of it. I want the tears. I want the screaming matches. I want the intense courtroom drama. So what is Diane's next move? She's wiped the prints. Does she roll Patty up in a rug? Does she call the police and pretend she just found the body after coming home from a walk? She's too smart to try and bury her in the garden like a rookie. She needs a scapegoat. And given how much she hates Nikki right now, part of me wonders if she tried to plant evidence to implicate Nikki. I mean, Nikki and Patty both have deep, complicated ties to Jack. It would be the ultimate two birds one stone revenge plot. Frame the woman your husband is currently compromising himself with for the murder of the woman he slept with on a boat. It is purely diabolical. I am honestly so hyped for tomorrow's episode I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. The writers have finally given Michelle Stafford, Susan Walters, and everyone involved some incredibly meaty, dramatic material to chew on. We are watching the birth of a supervillain right before our eyes. Diane Jenkins is no longer playing defense. She is playing offense, and she is playing for keeps. If you cross her, you don't just get a slap in the face anymore. You get a one-way ticket to the Genoa City morgue. Let me know in the comments if you guys are as freaked out and excited as I am. Am I crazy for kind of rooting for this dark, twisted version of Diane? Probably, but I don't even care. This is the soap opera drama that keeps me coming back year after year. Rest in peace, Patty Williams. You played with fire, and Diane Jenkins burned you to the ground. I cannot wait to see the ashes fall.